Our country, India, was under British rule until 1947. But few people know that Calcutta was the capital of British India until 1911. Later, they shifted their capital to Delhi. The important thing to understand is that Calcutta, which remained a British stronghold for so many years, was subjected to even greater atrocities and unbridled rule over the people than in other states. Over time, as the British atrocities against local communities increased, Bengalis began protesting at smaller levels. These protests were no longer at the city or state level, but at the ward and colony level. To regulate these protests, local communities developed a club culture where people gathered to hold secret meetings, share information, and discuss protest plans. Gradually, this club culture gained immense popularity and remains as prominent today. Nowadays, people here use these clubs to organize local festivals, cultural programs, and events. And today's bone-chilling story is about some boys associated with one of these clubs. It's sure to make your blood run cold. The name of my village is Lohapur, located in the Bardhaman district of West Bengal, and it's situated on the banks of the Damodar River. Rudra emphasized another point. He says that he was a Chatterjee Brahmin. The colony he lives in is inhabited by the people of Vaishnav community. He also wrote that in the Vaishnav community, when someone dies, they are not cremated, but buried. Now keep this information in your mind, as there's a powerful link to it in the upcoming story. So this incident happened in 2013, and Rudra was in 11th grade at the time. Rudra and his friends had a typical routine. They would go to school in the morning. After school, they would play sports. In the evenings, they would come to the club I mentioned earlier. They would chat and then go home at dinner time. The club where Rudra would gather was the Vaishnav Samaj Club. Like every other day, Rudra was sitting with his friends at his club one Sunday evening when they received news that a girl from their neighborhood had attempted suicide. She was around 18 or 19 years old. Hearing this news, they all rushed to her house. When they arrived, they learned that her family had taken her to the hospital. After sitting there for a while, Rudra and his friends went home. 2 days later, on Tuesday, they were sitting in their same club after playing football. They were talking when their friend came running up to them and said, "Did you guys find out that the girl attempted suicide? She's dead." They then returned to the girl's house, and as I mentioned, members of the Vaishnav community are buried here. Similarly, they took the girl to the cremation ground and buried her. Now, let's understand the geography of the village a little. The Damodar River flows on one side of their Lohapur village. A dense forest surrounds the river. On the other side, there's a road connecting the village to the national highway. Only 3 months had passed since the girl's suicide. It was December, and as usual, Rudra was sitting with some of his friends at the club. As night fell, the rest of his friends got up and started heading home. In the end, only Rudra and his friend Joy were left in the club. They'd been chatting for a while, and when Joy glanced at the clock, he saw it was 9:30. He told Rudra, "It's already 9:30. Let's go back home." Rudra said, "Okay." One more thing. Understand, this club has a room and a hall. Joy then told Rudra, "Brother, I need to pee, so do one thing. Close the club gate while I go pee from behind." Rudra said, "Okay." He first locked the room inside, and then, as he was leaving, he obviously had to turn off the lights that were on. Rudra turned off the lights in the club. As soon as he turned off all the lights, the ones behind the club also turned off. It's pitch dark, and Joey was peeing behind the club. Rudra just left the club and started locking the main gate. Just then, Joey came running to Rudra, completely panicked. When Rudra saw him, he asked, "Brother, what's wrong?"
"Why are you so nervous? Did you see anything?" Joy replied, "Brother, nothing. Lock the door quickly and get out of here." With that, he grabbed Rudra's hand and headed straight home. For the next 2 days, Joey didn't come to play with his friends. They thought I was busy somewhere. Then, on the 3rd day, Rudra called Joy's house and asked, "Brother, what's wrong? Where are you?" Joy replied, "Brother, I've been feeling really bad for the last 2 or 3 days."
Rudra replied, "It's okay, it's winter. Maybe you've just caught a cold." Joy then said, "No, brother. Rudra, do me one thing. I need to talk to you." Rudra replied, "Okay." Around 8 p.m., Rudra leaves the club and goes straight to Joy's house. When he goes to Joy's room, Joy tells him to close the door. Rudra asks, "What happened? Why are you behaving like this?" Joy asks, "Do you know what happened that day?" Rudra asks, "Which day?" Joy replies, "The last day I came to the club."
"You were locking the gate. I went to pee. I've been like this ever since." Then Rudra becomes a little serious. "What happened, brother? Tell me once. You didn't tell me anything that night either." And then, hearing what Joy said, Rudra's hair went straight to his head. But before delving into what Joy told him, understand one thing. Right behind their village club, there's a large cowshed where cows are kept. And behind that cowshed, there's a large field. Joy said, "I was peeing behind the club, and I was looking at the cowshed in front of me. There was a small bulb burning inside, so there was some light. I was peeing while looking there. After a while, I started peeing. And after a few seconds, when I looked back at the cowshed, I saw a girl standing inside. Her hair was completely unraveled. She was staring at me, pointing her finger at me. I was so scared I ran to you." Then Rudra said, "It was so dark. You must have seen something else. You must have misunderstood." Joy replied, "No, that girl was none other than Aditi, the same girl who died by suicide." Hearing this, Rudra was immediately shocked. "That cowshed belongs to Aditi's family." Rudra trembled. "You must have misunderstood. How could it be Aditi?" Joy then asks, "Do you remember anything? What's been happening for the past 2 months?" Aditi's family kept 2 cows in their cowshed. Both cows have died. How could it be that both died within 2 months? It couldn't have been a natural death. After hearing all this, Rudra sensed something was wrong. But he tried to convince Joy that it was just his misunderstanding and that the cows must be dying for some other reason. And with that, they both closed the matter. But this is where the real drama begins. A week and a half after this incident, Joy returns to his normal routine. He resumes his normal routine, like going to school, then playing sports and going to the club. Rudra and Joy shared all this with their other friends, but no one took it too seriously. If that were the case. Anyway, let's get back to the story. About a week and a half after the Joy incident, these guys decided to have a party at the club tonight. They all planned to buy chicken, cook it inside the club, play music, and then go home late at night. We'll be back. Now, these guys go to the chicken shop, get the raw chicken cut up, and bring it back to the clubhouse. Rudra explains that they brought a perfectly fresh chicken, still covered in blood. So they picked it up and placed it on a large plate which they had left on the floor. 2 of our friends had gone to the grocery store outside, and 2 or 3 of them were standing inside the club, talking among themselves about how they would start cooking once the other 2 had brought the items. While they were chatting, their friend Song suddenly noticed the chicken. He told his other friends, "Look at the mess that's happened to the chicken." They saw that every piece of chicken they had brought was lying on the floor, and the remarkable thing is that no one had even touched the plate of chicken. How could this be possible? If that plate full of chicken had been placed on a table at a higher elevation and had fallen from there, we would have known it might have been touched by someone. But here, the plate was sitting on the ground, and all the pieces were scattered as if someone had placed it underground and mixed it with their hands. Seeing this, they all got upset, thinking, "This chicken is spoiled now. We can't even use it. It's all covered in dirt." Then one of the boys in their group told Som, "Do one thing. Go throw this chicken back behind." Som put the whole chicken back on the plate and went behind the clubhouse. Behind the clubhouse, I had told you, was the cowshed, and near that cowshed there was a large bamboo tree. Som picked up all the chicken and threw it under the bamboo tree. After throwing it, he started walking back towards the clubhouse. And then, brother, he turned back to go towards the clubhouse. He hears a girl's voice. "You guys won't call me." Sam recognized that it was Aditi's. He stood frozen, not daring to take a step forward. After standing like that for a few seconds, Sam decided, okay, the noise has stopped. I'll head to the club. As he took his first step, he heard someone pick up the chicken he had just thrown and eat it. There was a very vulgar chewing sound. What came to his mind was unknown. He turned back and saw the same girl holding a piece of chicken in both hands and stuffing it all into her mouth. She was looking at Song with an angry expression. Song was completely distraught. Screaming, he ran straight into the clubhouse. He went and told everyone, "I saw Aditi there. She was sitting there eating all that chicken." Now the rest of his friends realized that Joy wasn't just joking. It wasn't a misunderstanding. There really was something wrong over there in the cowshed. They quickly left, locked the club door, and all went straight to their homes. You might be thinking, dude, I already know from this story that the spirit of the girl who committed suicide is appearing to them repeatedly. So what's so special about this story? What mystery remains unsolved? Just listen. The final part of this story is going to be a thrilling one. It had been about 7 or 8 days since this incident. January arrived, and cricket tournaments began in the area, held at night. Many villages participated in these tournaments, and to support their village team, the villagers gathered at the grounds all night to watch the matches. Meanwhile, in mid-January, a cricket tournament was underway.
Rudra and his 7 friends make a plan to go to the match tonight. The match was being played in a ground after crossing 2 villages. These 7 friends then arrive on 4 bikes to the ground to watch the match. They had been watching the match for 2 hours, and it was already 11:15 p.m. One friend in their group said, "It's getting late. It's 11 p.m. Let's go back to the village." As soon as that friend said this, 3 other friends agreed.
Yes, it's already 11 p.m. Let's not stay here for long. Let's go home. It's getting very cold. But there was a boy in the group, Sahib. He was 2 years older than Rudra, so Rudra addressed him as Sahibda. He said, "It's only been 2 hours. What's the hurry?" The 4 friends replied, "No, we have to go. We've already received a couple of phone calls from home." The boss then said, "Okay, you guys go. We'll watch for another hour and a half before returning to the village." The 4 friends from their group boarded 2 motorcycles and headed back to the village. 3 people were left to watch the tournament: Saheb, Rudra, and Joy. They watched the match for 2 more hours, and finally, at 1:35 in the night, Saheb said to Rudra, "Rudra, I think we should leave now. It seems everyone from our village has left. I can't see anyone. We're the only ones left." The rest were from nearby villages. Only these 3 people from their village were standing there watching the match.
Rudra replied, "Yes, Sahib, you're right. We should leave now." Rudra and Joy were sitting on a scooter, and Sahib was on his bike. The 3 of them leave to return to their village. Rudra is riding pillion, and Joy is driving the scooter. The Sahib is slowly moving forward on his motorcycle. Finally, they reach a diversion where 2 roads diverge. One road leads to the national highway. I mentioned earlier that a road connects Rudra's village to the national highway.
Ideally, they should have taken that route to the national highway where they could have reached their village. The other route leads through a village to Rudra's village. Now they are standing at that diversion with their motorcycle and scooter. The Sahib turns back to Rudra and asks, "What do we do? Where do we go?" Rudra replies, "Sir, this highway road is open. It'll be cooler and take more time. Let's take this village road. If you go deeper into the village, it will feel a little less cold. And since it's a shorter route, you'll reach home faster." Here, the 3 of them leave the highway and head towards the village. I told you that they'll cross a village and then reach their village. So when they finally cross the village, they'll have to cross a small stretch of forest. After that, they'll enter the back side of their village. The highway route leads from the front, and this shortcut route leads from the back. But the problem here was that within that small stretch of forest, there were 2 cremation grounds. One cremation ground was for the Vaishnav community, where burials were performed. The other cremation ground was for the rest of the community, where the dead were cremated. At this time, it was pitch dark and foggy. Rudra explained, "Brother, the maximum visibility at that time would be 100 meters. The 3 of us had reached the forest stage. Our car slowly moved forward. All we had in mind was to quickly cross this stretch and enter the backside of our village. But as we continued along that road, we reached the cremation ground, where people are cremated. I saw from a distance that a young boy of about 20 or 25 years old was standing just outside the forest on the other side, just off the road. It was a bit foggy, so I couldn't see his face clearly. Joy was driving the scooter, and Rudra was riding pillion. About 50, 60 meters behind their scooter, a gentleman was approaching on his motorcycle. Rudra tells us that we got a little closer to the boy. Then we started to see his face faintly, but we still couldn't make out who he was. I was looking at him intently, trying to identify him, when suddenly he looked at me. We made eye contact for a few seconds, and I was terrified. I told Joy to drive quickly, and within seconds we passed the boy. Then Rudra asked Joy, "Did you see anything?" Joy replied, "Yes, I did." Joy tried to see who it was in his scooter's mirror. When he looked in the mirror, he realized there was no one there. Before they could understand anything, someone suddenly shouted, "Rudra, why is there so much weight on the back of my motorcycle? My bike is too heavy." Without looking back, Rudra said, "Saida, please don't say anything. Keep driving your motorcycle forward quietly, and no matter what happens, don't look back. Now, take them back to your village. It would take about 10 minutes to reach the spot. The clock struck 2:30. They were riding their bikes and scooters along the road. Rudra was praying to God that Sahiba wouldn't look back. Just then, Sahib stopped his motorcycle. He called out to Rudra, "Stop!" Rudra asked, "What's wrong, Sahibda? Why did you stop?" Sahib replied, "Hey brother, I just saw someone on the left side." Joy asked, "Who did you see?" Rudra understood. Rudra replied, "Sahibda, no matter what happens, don't mention his name." Sahib, agreeing with Rudra, started his motorcycle and began following Rudra's scooter. A short distance away, there was another crematorium where members of the Vaishnav community are buried. As soon as they reached the crematorium, Sahib's motorcycle stopped. Sahib looked in the side mirror and said, "Hey, Rudra, someone's coming from behind." Rudra panics. He immediately says, "Sir, start the motorcycle and get out of here quickly." Then the officer looks again, saying, "He's disappeared." Rudra says, "Start the motorcycle quickly. Don't stop. Get out of here quickly." And before the officer can take any action, Joy tells Rudra, "Brother, look ahead. A girl is coming toward us."
Rudra wasn't sure what to do. Whoever that girl was, she was moving steadily toward them, half her face obscured by hair. The officer also began to panic. He couldn't see anyone in the rearview mirror. Panicking, he turned back, wondering if the boy who had been coming toward them was standing somewhere off to the side. When he looked back, he found that the boy he had seen was standing just 2 meters away from them. Seeing this, the officer immediately yelled out loud. Rudra explains, "Brother, I started reciting the mantra for the Kali Mata Puja that's performed here at my house." He explained that he sometimes helps his grandfather with his prayers, and because of that, he remembered the mantra. He even wrote it down and sent it to me. I'll recite it once. He wrote, "Om Karale Bhadanam Goram, Mukta Kesim Chaturboryam, Kalikam Dakshinam Divyam, Mundmala Vibhushita, Sadyachina Sira Kadag Bama Dada Karam Bujam." If I make any mistakes, please forgive me. Rudra explains that after reciting this mantra, the Sahib's bike starts. The 3 of us, in a panic, crossed the road on our motorcycles and finally reached home safely. The next day, Rudra went to his grandfather and told him everything that had happened to them last night. Then his grandfather said, "That divine Kali Mata shloka saved us all." But then the point is, the spirit of the boy was the same Ankita who had committed suicide. But then they learned that the boy whom Sahib had seen and these people had also seen was in the crematorium next to the crematorium where people are cremated. That boy was Ankita's lover. After Ankita committed suicide, he also took his own life by consuming poison. But since he lived in a different colony and did not belong to the Vaishnav community, the villagers cremated his body in the other crematorium. His spirit is also haunting that place. Now, after learning all this, Rudra's grandfather called the girl's parents to his house. I had told them that Rudra's grandfather was also a priest, so they inquired about the whole incident from the girl's parents. "What do you mean you guys feel?" Then they said that they hear Ankita's crying from the roof every night. They have seen her many times in our cowshed as well. Now we're at a loss for how to get rid of this. Rudra's grandfather gave him a flower of goddess Kali. He said, "Take it and tie it to your door." This is an untimely death, so his soul is still seeking salvation. You guys should do one thing. Go to Gaya in Bihar and perform Pindan there. Otherwise, this boy's soul will continue to wander, and Ankita's mother will be the next target. Rudra didn't tell me if the boy's parents did anything to fix this, but Ankita's family stopped seeing him after that.
So that's the whole story.